Hi, this is Keith Weaver with the Top Executive Strategy Podcast, where CEOs, COOs, and business owners share strategies for better success. This is 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best strategies are concise business advice. And we're going to get right to our guest today. And with question number one, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hi, Keith. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited. My name is Derek Van Otten. My wife, Edna, and I own VO Enterprise. It's actually a corporation where we have multiple of our companies set in there. We mostly focus on helping families and businesses in different aspects of services. So we have a finance firm, we have a mobile notary service, and we have a coaching where we coach people on life, business, finance, all sorts of different things.
And have been extremely successful and a great example of a true entrepreneur. And so we're so happy to have you on and hear some of your insights.
Thank you.
But question number two, just to kind of start off with, tell us what's the best thing about being a business leader?
For me, the best thing is seeing the impact that you can do on people, or and what impact your services can provide to them, where you just see that shift of whether they're happy or a mindset shift. That's what I really enjoy seeing. Then also being able to create something that can generate something for my generations, for my kids and my kids' kids, that I can create something for them to also have and do in the future.
Yeah, planning for the future. That's I think a big part of a lot of people's minds, especially as we get, a little older and have kids and stuff. So very
Yes.
important. So question number three, I hear from other leaders that their people strategy in running their business can often be more challenging than the actual business strategy of running their business. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, strategy and challenges, right? Challenges are always going to come up no matter what. But I think business challenges, there's always some type of strategy or protocol or standardization in place. So that kind of helps. But people, that's the X factor. That's the part you really can't control. That's the part that's going to be the variable, and it's just so hard to predict. So I definitely agree with that that people challenge and strategies are more difficult.
You have to definitely be proactive in staying up on it and trying to, be proactive in dealing with it. That's for
Yeah.
sure. So question number four, what strategy would you like to share with other business leaders today?
I would share two things that I recommend right now, especially in the times that we're in, would be empathy and adaptability. Empathy being, being able to empathize with your team members, your employees, your staff, whatever it is, your clients, your vendors, being able to empathize with them. People, companies are going through hard times, and we don't know what they're going through. It's important to empathize with them. A lot of business leaders want their employees or team members to take ownership, and I don't agree with that. Why would they? What slice of the pie do they get from that? So it's not easy to always just expect high expectations from your team. Um, so empathize with them, understand what they're going through, and then being able to adapt. A lot of people had some challenges come up in 2020, and if you were set in your mindset, you struggled, I'm sure. And maybe businesses, they floundered and they went out of business because they weren't able to adapt. I always refer to Toys R Us. They were the kingpin of toys. And where are they now? Right? Because they didn't adapt to the tech change. And so people really need to focus in being available to adapt to the times, adapt to the market, adapt to the environment, adapt to what needs are. You have to be able to adapt to that. We actually had an office lease, and we let the lease expire because we adapted to the change. And if you're watching the video, you can see I'm recording with you, Keith, in my mobile office. We've actually customized a van into an office. And so we've just been able to adapt. And in 2020, we were able to just grow exponentially because we didn't stay in a closed mindset.
And I was going to say, you're the prime example of that adaptability and how it helped you in 2020 and beyond is,
Yeah.
being able to grow and just keep going. So It's some great examples there, and a great strategy, and I like the insights as well. So question number 4 or 5, I mean, um, what other successful business owners or CEOs like yourself would you like to maybe do a shout out to, acknowledge, or you think would be good on the podcast?
I would right away recommend two of my direct mentors. You know, I think you always should be expanding your knowledge and seeking information from coaches and mentors. And I have quite a few, but two that I work with directly. One is his name is Rafa Bastidas. He owns Bastidas Team Builders, and they are a company that helps people start and teaches them how to run a financial firm. And the other one is Mark Wills. Him and his owner partner Roman. They own Loan Signing System, and they teach notaries how to run a loan signing company.
Oh, cool. Well, it sounds like they've been helpful for you, and surrounding yourself with the right people has been a key to growing your business as well. So
Oh, absolutely! You have to surround yourself with people that will help you grow.
that's a great tip as well. Well, before we leave, just kind of a final fun question. Tell me about one of your favorite past bosses.
I used to work at this company, and used to work the night shift. We used to get off at around 11 p.m. And there was a new bowling alley that was built, and we would go there after work and maybe bowl and have a couple beers with some friends after work. And the general manager, her family actually owned the company. The general manager, it was in an area of town that wasn't, the greatest, and so fights would break out all the time. And she would run out there to break up the fights, and we became really good friends because we'd go there every Friday, and I would jump in and help her break up the fights. And she just said, "Hey, why don't you come work with me part time as a security guard on the weekends?" And that worked out really well for me because I just moved out of my parents' house and I could use a little bit extra cash. So I said sure, and working as a security guard was quite fun for me on the weekends. But we grew a great relationship, and now this company has multiple locations in multiple states, and she's now a director and part owner. But we've remained really good friends, one of my closest friends, and we just had a blast. If you can imagine, closing up on a weekend at 2 a.m. and you have a whole bowling alley and arcade to yourself, and snacks, and we had a blast, me, her, and a few other team members.
Kind of a bouncer position, right? So
Exactly was, and interesting things, we working with police, sometimes we've tased a couple people. I've had knives pulled out on me. I've had, threats, and um overall though, it was a great time though.
that's a fun story. Definitely someone I don't want to mess with, right? So, well, it has been great having you on and hearing your insights today. Before we go, can you tell people how they can maybe connect with you?
Yeah, you can find me on social media. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at D Van Otten. That's my handle on all the platforms. And then my website is dvanotten.com. That's where you can go and find all my services, all my companies there. We're hoping something at the end of this year, but if not, maybe next year. My wife and I are putting together a charity. That's something we want to do. It's great to have success, but the most meaningful part is to share that success. And so we would like to do that. So we'll put information there as well when we get closer to that. But that's something that's near and dear to me and my wife, and we think that will be our actual legacy will be our giving. And I think that's part of life is to not just make a lot of money, just say, oh, look, I have the nicest car, the nicest house, but what have I done with it? What can I provide? What more impact can I give back to the world?
Yeah, going back to that legacy idea that we talked about. Well, that's
Absolutely.
awesome. Well, we appreciate you taking time and being in your mobile office to be here.
My pleasure.
And this is Keith Weaver with the Top Executive Strategy Podcast. And for more insights, you can follow us at Weaver Business Coaching. You can find us on LinkedIn. And of course, listen to us on your favorite podcast platform. And we wish you all the best success.